Okay, just a few things, as always, before we start. We have a bunch of thank yous. A very special thank you to Nicole Ryan, who helps with all of the programs, the plaques, and she hasn't come back yet. She's with field hockey in Algonquin. Also a thank you to Pat Conley, who is a member of our committee, for giving us water from Coca-Cola. Members of the committee are Nancy Ryan, where are Nancy Ryan, Pat Conley, myself, Hope Stockhouse, Kenny Stockhouse, and Dan DeLongchamp. A little bit about Nicole, and I hope she shows up. She's been so helpful. And this is going to come into play a little later. But she was the first Howie's Heavy, and I'm not going to expound on that whatsoever. We'll get to that. Tonight you're going to hear some words that people are going to use. Words like champion, only, which sometimes we don't get many of those. Record, All-Star, TNG, DVC, sportsmanship, effort, attitude, humility, tenacity, student-athlete, drive. And all of these words, you're not going to hear words like greatest of all time, because nobody knows that. You're not going to hear the best. You're not going to know. There's no way to tell. Somebody might think Babe Ruth was the best. You might think Willie Mays was the best. How do you decide? So you don't hear those words. Because everybody that's sitting up here is a winner. That's what's really important. Speaking of that, John LeClaire, John, right over there, has some materials over there on some history of some of the different sports. John was author of the first 100 years of sports here at Sutton High School, him and his brother Steve. And he's been following it up with pieces of work over there that are really great.
There's 3 pieces, and anyone here is welcome to take as many of each that they want. Baseball, basketball, and a little personal thing about Steve Ramasco, but I'm hoping to do, it's like portraits, so I'm hoping to do field hockey and the Gillen track program and soccer Mike, and so I'll get to that. So please feel free to take one, or each.
Okay. I would like all of the present Hall of Fame members to please stand if you're in attendance. For all of us in the back. Just something, and I'm glad Bill's here because I pondered it, and I was doing it to the kids before. I asked this of some young ladies before practice one day during track season. In Bannister's book, and I'm talking about Roger, in case some of you don't get it. He has a paragraph about the emotions. Are they greater in winning, or are they greater in losing? Or are they about the same? And there was dead silence when I asked him that question. And of course, everybody here and over here too have experienced both sides of that. And the kids, the only thing that came out, they said, "Oh wow, how do you decide which is better?" In the next paragraph, Bannister says, "It depends upon what you put into it." And I think what he means is drive. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of these people up here have drive. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as successful as they are. But it's disappearing in a lot of athletes. It comes from here. You can go to AAU, you can go to practice, you can do all of those things. But you can't put the drive in there. It has to come from the person. Enough of that. Okay. Tonight's group represents 13 athletic teams. In the program, you'll see we have a little thing that is just a bunch of items of the accomplishments of these people over here. we thought it would be kind of nice, and I think it says something like how many all-star teams each people did. But 13 different athletic teams are represented here. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. I looked up coach in the dictionary online. Coach. I didn't get what I wanted. It said a carriage, usually drawn by horses. I said, that's not what I want. I'm out on a run the next day and I said, you know, it's kind of apropos. Sometimes the coach is the person driving it. Sometimes you got a great team and the coach is a passenger just along for the ride. But then there's those times where the coach is like a team of horses, where it's just dragging everything every single day. And I think coaches have had those days in some of those seasons. Now I'm going to ask three wise men to come up here and speak about Mike Elster. Gentlemen, please.
To be able to stand up here today and give this speech with my brothers for our dad is not something you were ever truly prepared for. We could stand up here for hours talking about the impact he has made on not just us, but all the players who have come through the Sutton High School boys soccer program. My dad is truly surprised and honored to receive this prestigious recognition. My dad began coaching right after college just over 30 years ago before he even had kids of his own. He is currently in his 16th year at Sutton as he continues to do what he loves and has a passion for. During this time, he has won 10 DVC championships, 6 district championships, and 4 state championships. Stats and awards were never important to Mike, as he was always striving to make each and every person successful, not just in soccer, but in life as well. For those of you Star Wars fans in the crowd, my dad has used Yoda to show his teams the attributes needed to be successful. Yoda is a well-liked character who is accessible, wise, and a prominent figure who will always lend a helping hand. He has always been a mentor, teacher, and man of character who all of his players look up to. He has spent countless hours developing practices, finding stories to read to his teams, and continuing his education and learning as a coach. He has helped players in many different ways by writing letters of recommendation for jobs, National Honor Society, and assisting them in playing soccer at the college level and helping them achieve all of their goals and aspirations. The grind truly never stops for him. His true legacy is the people like myself who have followed in his footsteps to make an impact in the community through coaching and mentoring the next generation of players.
Start off with a little fun fact. Did you know that my dad has as many state championships as the entire men's soccer program at Sutton? What many people don't know is he also won a state championship for St. John's, their first ever, for their soccer program, which was a long time ago now. But I'll name 3 things that I think are the largest contributions he has made to the soccer program at Sutton. First up is just the concept of being a team. One of the things he learned back in his playing days and distilled in the teams he coached right away is that everyone on the team has a role to play. It takes everyone on the team to come together and challenge each other day in and day out to improve the entire team. Practice as if it's a game. The harder the last person on the end of the bench practices, the more it may challenge the star player to increase their hustle as well. Plus, you never know when an injury can occur and you may be the next man up. I personally was not a very good soccer player when I was younger, but when I made the varsity team, I was switched to defense by my dad, and when Tim Gaetani got injured, I got my shot and never looked back. You never know when your time might come, so everyone on the team should always give it their all. I continue to play defense throughout my collegiate career, and this is all because I got a chance from my dad. Second is preparation. The main thing that led to the soccer program's success, that is credited to my dad, is the way we prepare. Our preparation really sets us apart, which gave us the competitive advantage against most teams we went up against. We trained all summer, passed fitness tests, watched film, drank chicken broth during cold games, and put Vaseline on our feet. This gave us not only a physical advantage, but a psychological one. We were the most in-shape team every time we stepped on the field. Lastly is belief and confidence. All of these little things my dad implemented, gave us confidence. Some may say cockiness, but it gave us the belief that we could overcome any obstacle that came our way. So in a way, it was not just preparedness, but it was the belief that we all had that we could do something special each year in each game. And for these three things, we owe my dad, Coach Elser, the most gratitude, because it's also the three things that can help you substantially in life after sports. The ability to work well with others in your company and challenge each other to do more and be better. The more you prepare for a job interview, the more confidence and belief you have that you can get the job. The more you perfect your craft and practice and train, the more belief and production will come out of your work. Your ability can only get you so far, but the heart and desire to practice more, work well with others is what can really further you in soccer and in life. And so for that, and thank you again, my dad, for everything he has done for myself and the rest of the players he has coached over his years at Sutton.
The best for last, they say. The Sutton community is what it's all about in my dad's eyes. Through poems, quotes, readings, he was always trying to find a new way to get his message across. The importance of togetherness, the impact you have on the people around you, I could go on and on, but most importantly, these all had a bigger meaning than just soccer. For several years, St. John's has asked him to come back and coach their team. However, he has always wanted to stay in Sutton and coach in the community he lives in and loves. Before he ever became a high school coach, he volunteered with Sutton Youth Soccer for many years. He has been on the Sutton Youth Soccer board for over 20 years and is currently serving as its president. He always taught me and my brothers and our teammates the importance of giving back to the community that supports us. We are role models in every aspect of our lives. We have done free clinics for Sutton Youth Soccer players countless times. The most memorable time as a player for me was when we won our state championship in 2015, looking up and seeing all of the youth players in the stands that we have worked with throughout our time here, looking up to us as heroes, when we as players knew none of that would have been possible with any other coach. That impact was the impact he has strived for us to have. Our family has put on a Kicks for Cancer fundraising tournament for U4 and U6 players since 2004, which gives money to countless organizations who help individuals and families impacted by cancer. He has always found a way to tie it back into the community. As high school players, both the boys and girls teams were encouraged to give back by serving as coaches and referees for the players in the tournament. He knew that we would take all these life lessons with us when we left the program and continue with them throughout our lives. So many of his players have contacted him years after they have left and told him that they didn't always realize everything they were learning at the time, but now they do. This is the lasting impact that he will have on this community forever. Dad, we are extremely proud of all of you have accomplished both on and off the field, and there's no one more deserving than you. Thank you.
I want to speak to Amanda here. Earlier I was telling people that when I was in high school, we dreamed that somebody would ever move into town that would make a difference. A lot of us were onlys. Practically every guy on the basketball team, maybe 14 out of 15 were the only one from a family that ever played. And you bring us 3. Thank you. Thank you, Mom and Dad. You've made a difference. And Kim Anderson is going to tell us about the difference that she made.
Sure. Microphone. We can do this, right? Let me just say welcome, everyone. It's really great to see a lot of familiar faces, although, under masks, etc. But it's great, and just to echo the sentiment of community here in Sutton. It's really a special place, for sure. So let me start by just giving a little bit of a little story. And it was the summer of 2008. And I can still remember it, sitting in the old faculty room, which was probably somewhere right around here, right? And I'm sure the Ulster boys were at camp in the gym while I was there coaching. And up the walkway walked these incredibly tall people. And I'm just thinking, okay, this is interesting, right, as a basketball coach. And so gym, we're coaching, and then a little while later, someone comes in and tells me about, Harrington's, their, daughter plays basketball, and then of course I have to go back and look at the scorebook. I'm like, we played Oxford last year, and of course I go look, and you feel like Howie just said, you're waiting for something, you're looking for, a special athlete to come along, and I think at that time we really just didn't know how special of not just an athlete we were getting, but also a person that we were getting. Amanda, just an incredible person here in the Sutton community. And so after coaching Amanda for a couple of years, I did look back and realize that I wasn't just lucky, getting that opportunity to coach her, but again, that idea of getting just an incredible person. And great athletes, as we know, can sometimes come along with challenges, and that never seemed to be the case with Amanda. Obviously having this incredible skill and gifted athlete, but balancing her skill with the team never seemed to be a problem. She was just such a team-first athlete, and it was never an issue. Amanda was always first class in terms of being a teammate, and more importantly, just an absolute winner. To sort of put this in perspective, I want to say that over the course of her time as a basketball player, over the 3 years in Sutton, more than 50 games. 50 games in 3 years that those teams won. That's incredible. Her volleyball teams, 39-4, which is astounding. So in those 3 years of having Amanda on the team, just losing 4 games, really something. Former teammates were asked. I know Howie had sent some things out to some of her former teammates, and they just mentioned how great and compassionate and kind of a teammate Amanda was. And I saw that in basketball on some very talented teams. I guess the crowds were told you were called the Hammer at the volleyball games, I think was what it was. She was known as. Some of Amanda's individual accomplishments, being a DVC All-Star in volleyball 2009 and 2010. She was a TNG All-Star 2009, 2010, and DVC Player of the Year in 2010, and also league champs every single year that Amanda was on the team. In basketball, again, a DVC All-Star 2009, 2010, 2011, league champs in 2009, district championship in 2011, and DVC Player of the Year in 2010, and a Telegram Gazette Honorable Mention All-Star for 2 years. Not to mention scoring 1,243 points. That's an incredible accomplishment in high school. To get to 1,000 points is really amazing. But when you compound that, Amanda played with 3 other 1,000-point scorers on her teams. So for her to do that was really astounding. So Amanda, your induction into the Sutton High School Hall of Fame, it's not just a testament to your effort and your commitment, but this is also a reflection of all the hard work from the time that you were a kid, from the time that you were, playing youth sports. This is a reflection of the sacrifice of yourself, of the sacrifice of your family, and the support that they gave you. So, with that being said, this is a much-deserved honor, and a sincere congratulations to you on your induction into the Sutton High School Hall of Fame.
Stefan Forsberg was not able to come tonight. Are any of his parents here? Because he said they were. Ah, there we go, Gordon. Excellent. Just real quick for Stefan. I got an email today, and I'd really like to read part of it for you. It's from Coach Ramasco's wife, Kathy. I won't read it all, but I think it's very apropos. The little part I'll skip over because congratulations to the Sutton Sandys and the Hall of Fame. I cannot tell you how excited I am that you are being inducted, as I'm sure you are as well. It is truly an accomplishment and a testament to the grit, determination, and athleticism of every member who is in the Hall of Fame. I wish for you the best in your life goals, personal and career, and also know you will carry that time spent with Coach and your Sutton Sandy team always in your heart, forever in your thoughts as you navigate through your life. It is the gift of the legacy. To continue on that, Stefan was the last player to play varsity basketball to come through Sutton on Steve's team. If you get a chance, and we're working on it, of the Ramasco dedication video, there is a close-up of Stefan sitting on the bench during the clock tournament. Stefan played football. And when you get to look at his plaque, he had some very, very nice statistics. I went to some of the games that he played. That was when Sutton played Millbury. And I have in my mind something that stuck for a long time. He was in the end zone, and the pass came into the end zone, and it was really short. Instead of just standing up and reaching down, like a lot of players would do, he got down on his knees and just before the ground, he scooped it up and scored the TD. He played both ways. He had 6 interceptions as a defensive back. Am I right, Gordon, with that? Yeah. He played basketball. As I just said, he was on the basketball team, and he was a 1,000-point scorer. Stefan and I have a bond. I see him from time to time because he does a few projects for the town. And he'll come up to Shaw Farm and he does the maps and works on the maps and things. And it's really a bond. And I think it comes from, and I'm going to read this little thing that's going to be very interesting. Gordon, you're going to love this. He was in basketball camp. Evan, you might want to pay attention to. Trent, you might want to pay attention to. In 2003, at the basketball camp, and I'm looking down, and in one-on-one competition, he won 57 times. Only one other person beat him, Trent. You know, you save these things because it's history. And I worked with Steve for 18 years at basketball camps. I've got every single program that I work with. In hot shot, Stefan Forsberg ended with 71 points. What do you think? Trent Bolsell, 97. What's up with that? So, Gordon, would you come up and accept, please? We play sports for many reasons. It's fun, camaraderie, competition, and many times you create bonds and tremendous memories. And the memories of sport, I mean, you ask John, he was talking about things that happened a long time ago. You don't lose those. I'm looking at you, Kerry. Up at Fitchburg High, Fitchburg State College, right? You have a memory that's going to last you for a long, long time.
Yes, sir.
You want to explain that? I'm not taking you. No. How much time on the clock?
2 seconds, and then it was gone while the ball was in the air.
Clock. And made the score?
30-27, we won district title.
Great. Your dad is going to tell us more about you.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to just say congratulations to all the inductees. Anytime you can be inducted to your high school's Hall of Fame or coach with all the time and effort you put in, it's an unbelievable compliment that a community is giving to you. You should be all so thrilled about that. It's an honor and privilege to have been asked to present Kerry Valdarian, my daughter, to all of you at her induction into the Sutton Memorial High School Hall of Fame. I have been fortunate throughout my career to have presented a number of my ex-athletes at Hall of Fame inductions, but I must confess to present my daughter is very special. Howie Bottomley actually asked me if I could do this without breaking down, and I assured him I could. And Howie, I promise. During Kerry's high school career, she earned 5 letters during 2 years here at Sutton High School. Lettering in field hockey twice, basketball twice, and softball. Additionally, Kerry earned 4 varsity letters, 2 letters each in field hockey and basketball at Northbridge High School during her freshman and sophomore years. She captained both the field hockey and basketball teams as a senior here at Sutton. And while Kerry was named MVP of the field hockey team as a senior, it will be the sport of basketball for which she will be most remembered. Kerry always loved basketball. If you were as old as me, you probably remember a saying where you would say, so-and-so had a basketball Jones. Well, that means that someone loves basketball. Well, Kerry definitely had a basketball Jones, and she still has a basketball Jones. Kerry learned to play watching the big girls play on my Oxford High School teams. She learned to dribble in the driveway with 2 basketballs at the age of 4, trying to kill all the carpenter ants. Her love of basketball never stopped. During her 2 years of basketball at Sutton High, Kerry scored 845 points, on the way to ending her career with a total of 1,164 points. She is one of only 8 women, including Amanda, including 2 other, how fortunate I am that I've had 4 of them. She was named MVP of basketball during her junior and senior years, was a dual Valley Conference All-Star both season, and was a DVC Player of the Year her senior season. Additionally, she was selected to the Telegram and Gazette Super Team, both as a junior and senior, and was selected by the State Basketball Coaches Association to the All-Senior Team and the All-Academic Team. However, as Howie mentioned, the thing that most people will remember about Kerry came during her junior year at Fitchburg University in the district finals. The shot heard all around Central Mass. As the radio commentator from Ware Radio stated, a shot that came from somewhere out on Route 2. It was a deep 3-pointer with less than 4 seconds that helped the Sutton girls basketball program dethrone 8-time defending champion Quabog the final score, as she mentioned, 30-27. It is very important to say that Kerry loved being a student athlete at Sutton High School, and she still loves Sutton High. She always thought the world of her teachers and the members of the school administration. Kerry had an infectious happiness and determination to get the most out of every school day, and that carried over into each day of practice and every game. Mrs. Lucille DeLeo was the principal while Kerry was here at Sutton. One day, Mrs. DeLeo stopped me in the hall and said, "Your daughter is a special person. Kerry brightens our hallways every day." Importantly, Kerry accepted both criticism, which she got plenty of from me, okay, and praise, which she rarely got from me, with the same attitude. She realized both were simply to make her better, a simple "yes, Dad," or smile, and away she went, immediately trying to implement what she was told into her game. Kerry was an outstanding athlete. However, even more outstanding was her leadership and her commitment to her teammates. Kerry knew her role, and by watching and learning from other leaders, Kerry developed her own style and into the mother hen, who as a senior led a team that had only 2 seniors, no juniors, only 2 sophomores, and 6 freshmen, to the 2nd consecutive district championship. On the night she scored a 1,000th point against BMR on a play called "Mary Left," she had no idea why the horn went off to stop the game. She didn't even realize people were holding 1,000 point signs. I had to tell her what happened. That is because to Kerry, it never mattered how she did. It was all about the team. Each and every game, Kerry's attitude was simple. We are going to win, and I am going to do whatever it takes for my team to do just that. Her teammates loved playing alongside her. I asked Erin Messier, who played with Kerry on both district championship teams, for some thoughts about playing with Kerry. Here's what Erin had to say. As a former teammate of Kerry's on the varsity basketball team, I will always remember her positive energy and leadership, as well as the kind, supportive role model she was for myself and my teammates. Kerry always used to encourage us by saying, "Believe in yourselves," or "Have confidence in your teammates." I always took this to heart, not only in basketball, but even now in my professional and personal life. I am thankful for Kerry's supportive and kind, genuine personality and her leadership. After Kerry graduated from Sutton, she chose to continue her education and play basketball at Westfield State University. She became a starter on the basketball team there as a freshman and was named the 2013 Massachusetts State College Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year. Currently, she is an assistant coach at Westfield State University, where she is also a graduate student with a 4.0 GPA, pursuing a master's degree in counseling. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sutton Memorial School alum, class of 2012, and Sutton High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2021, Kerry Valdarian.
I want to take a moment here. We have some student volunteers here tonight. Alex and Charlie Sumner that are still here, over there. Amsden Klingard is our movie man tonight. Jillian McDonald, is Jillian still here? Hiding in the corner. Katie Wright was here. She had to leave early, but she was here early helping us set up. And Allie, where's Allie? Bradley is over there too. A great deal of thanks for those young ladies and our gentleman over there with the camera for helping us do all this tonight. I asked a group of very special young people if they would like to work out in the summertime. I would put in the time if they would put in the dedication and would work hard. That group was called Howie's Heavies. Evan Baltzell is already laughing. He didn't look like that when the program started. They had trouble lifting the bar off the bench with no weights on it. And do you remember the first time you tried a farmer's walk? You don't want to remember. It was a special group, a very special group. I added it up really quick, and the people in that group were DVC All-Stars 37 times. It was a very special group of boys and girls. More on that to come. Telling us all about Evan is going to be up to Bill Gillen.
Guess this is on. Evening. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. Is it on? Yeah. It's on? Okay. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. It's nice to be here, even if it is the cafeteria. I want to express my thanks to Howie and the Hall of Fame Committee for all of their work. This doesn't happen at a lot of schools, and for this to be as small as we are, and to have, hopefully a lot of you have seen all the plaques out in the hallway outside of the Masco gym. And so I guess, I just want to give a big thanks to that group, because I know they work hard. This is a difficult task. There's many deserving, and so time for that. I also want to congratulate all the inductees. So this is my third time doing this, and it's a real pleasure. So congratulations to all, particularly the coach back there. So congratulations. Okay, moving forward. Howie gave me strict instructions to be brief. So this has apparently traveled around town, because my other speeches were 6 and 7 pages long. So my sincere apologies for the people who were getting the short end of the stick tonight. Anyways, so moving forward. See, I stray off a little bit. Okay, it's fitting that I have the honor to present Evan with his award tonight, as I also had the privilege to recognize siblings Kelsey and Trent, and I know Trent is here tonight, and just recently head coach at the University of Rhode Island track and field, correct?
That's right, yeah.
So I'm not a predictor of things generally, but going back to Trent, I say this guy is going to be a Division I college coach someday. And you've earned that, so congratulations. But anyway, so it is really fitting that I get the third of the Baltzell family. So I was really, really, really privileged to have worked with all three of them in the years that they were here. Evan competed in multiple sports here at Sutton, which I'll reference shortly. Importantly for me, his 1 year of doing indoor track, his senior year, stands out. He joined the team again his senior year. He immediately made a very good team into maybe the best indoor boys team that I've ever had the privilege to work with in my, I don't know, whatever it is, 20-some years here. It was undefeated in league and district competition, and the team came within the usual, and all coaches kind of know this stuff, the proverbial fraction of inches and tenths of a second of winning a small school state championship, and with a small group at that. And interestingly, Evan joined his brother and sister on the same track surface on the same day, of course in different years, it was his senior year, as becoming an individual state title holder in the high jump. So I don't know how much that is a stat, but again, to have 3 sibs, all on the same track, different years, win a state title on the same surface, incredible in my book anyways. Evan's athletic legacy is extensive here, pointing to his all-around athletic talent, participating in multiple sports. Soccer, 2000, this is where it sort of gets, sorry for the dryness here, but gets a little just on middle list here. Soccer, 2008, 9, 10. DVC All-Star, 2010. T&G All-Star Team, 2010. Basketball Team, 2009 and 2010. Indoor Track and Field, 2010 and 11, and winner the spring season. Captain, DVC All-Star, DVC All-Around Athlete, T&G All-Star, State High Jump Champion, Small School. Outdoor Track and Field, 2009, 2010, 2011. Captain, 2011. All-Star and DVC Field Athlete. District Champion, Pole Vault and Discus. Runner-up in the District Decathlon, a very close second to, also in the Hall of Fame, Mark Hill. And that team went on to the decathlon title that year. I think you were about 50 or so points shy of Mark. But again, a strong 1-2 to finish there. And 2010 District Discus Champion. And finally, get into it, he graduated and still holds school records in the outdoor track and field, in the discus and pole vault, and they still stand. It is my honor to present Evan Baltzell with his plaque and induction into the Sutton Athletic Hall of Fame. Oh, and I forgot to mention my youngest daughter is in labor as we speak. So. It's her first, but our grandchildren 4 hours. Sorry about that. Meant to mention it earlier.
Emo Zanovac, and I've used this before, in 2005, made a statement that covers a lot of sports. But in this case, Jesse, it covers a distance runner. A runner cannot run with money in their pocket. They must run with dreams in their head and hope in their heart. And it's so true for almost any athlete. So you wanted to be a distance runner. Those January days where the sky is just beautiful blue, there's not a cloud in it. The air is crisp and clean. The wind chill is 5, and you lace them up and you're out the door. You know you're a runner when you get back and you say, "Darn, I overdressed today." It's pouring rain. It's 35 degrees. No question, you're out the door. You know you're a runner when you get done, and you don't want to get your soaking wet shoes all over the floor, so you kick them off, but you forget to remove the scatter on the back of your legs, right? It's 85 degrees. So what? I'm going out. You know you're a runner, because when you get done, your clothes weigh more than you do. To tell us a little bit more about Jesse, Sister Rachel is going to come up and make a presentation for you.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
I'll just line up here for now. First, I just want to congratulate all the inductees, and I want you to know I stand in front of a camera in front of thousands of people every day, and I'm more nervous nervous here than I am there, because this is such a big honor, and I hope you guys understand that. And whether I know you personally or I've heard your name floating around town because of someone who represents Sutton Athletics, it really is a huge accomplishment. There's millions of high schools. I've been in so many of them, and I've never seen a Hall of Fame wall like the one we have. So you should be very proud of yourselves. I'm certainly proud of you. I'm honored to stand before you today and even more blessed to be granted the opportunity to highlight the incredible feats of my little sister, Jessie. But what I'm most proud of is the woman that she has always been on and off the track. A humble champion, a fierce competitor, and the hardest working athlete I have ever met. To start some stats, I'm not going to go through every single one because I was supposed to be brief. Jess was a multi-season, multi-year DVC champion, 12 DVC All-Star Awards, TNG All-Star, district championships in cross-country and track, leading as a captain in both. She set 4 school records in her short time at this school, and I had the honor of coaching her and her team with Coach Gillen their senior year in cross-country, and those memories are some of the sweetest I'll ever know on this campus. When Jess showed up at the course of the track in her braids, rocking sunglasses, people knew her name. She would seemingly glide across the course, float over the track, and just coast to victory on so many occasions. But she always turned back to cheer on her team. And even the other competitors that she grew friendly with over the years, in the mud, rain, heat, and humidity, all of them together. She used to say prayers before her races, asking God to bless all the runners that day, keep them safe from injury, and help everyone to just run their best, because she loved a good competition. She owns more Marvel-themed pieces of clothing than anyone I know. Her high socks, her Captain Marvel paraphernalia is untouchable, and even though it didn't and doesn't make her faster, it certainly makes her look cooler. And I'm getting old, so I need to use my glasses. All right, a short funny story that I'm sure she'll hate me telling, but one summer, I was trying to get Jessie ready for cross-country season. Now, I'm almost 6 years older than her, so I was like, I don't know, junior, senior maybe, and she was in 6th or 7th grade. I used to tell her we were doing 3 miles. It would end up being 7. She would make up excuses to stop, like she had to fix her hair, tie her shoe, and actually I forgot about all this until Ashley Bach, another student athlete, brought it up to me, because she just thought it was so funny now looking at Jess and the way she runs. I look back and laugh because I couldn't even make it with her to the end of the driveway now, and that's so true. I was hard on her then, but all of that success that she has, she earned. Blood, sweat, blisters, injuries, cuts, bumps, bruises, laughter, tears, she earned it all. And she's one of the only runners I know that keeps PRing, even years after graduating from high school and from college. Every time she does a run lately, she gets faster. She sought out new roads and the trails in the past that nobody else wanted to take. She would make her runs longer, different, and more worth it. The easy way was never Jessie's way, and the hard work paid off like it always does. I played soccer when I was in elementary school, and Jess just had to be just like me, so she started playing too. I started running in middle school and high school, and as soon as she got to 7th grade, Jessie followed in those footsteps too. And she beat me my senior year, and I was angry with her for that, but now I couldn't be more proud. Even though she might have started because she was inspired by me, I've always been so much more inspired by her. As my teammate, she was an encouragement. As my athlete, she was a leader, and as a competitor, she's always been gracious. She's tiny, but she's feisty. She's got red, white, and blue covered lightning bolt written all over her. She never let anyone count her out, and she never let any negative energy, pressure, or stress get in her way. She was fast then, but you should see her now. I know my sister, and she runs because it makes her feel free. She runs because it makes her feel alive, and I have no doubt that through running, she will continue to make this tiny little map dot town so proud in the years to come. Congratulations, Jessie Carden. You love Thank you.
I can't imagine how many pieces of paper I have up here. I get around to see most sports over the course of the season. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I think as part of a member of the Hall of Fame, you have to get out and actually see people play. Because there's a lot of intangibles by watching someone rather than somebody reading a statistic off a piece of paper. And I think most of the coaches here will agree on that it's important to see. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone in all of the sports that I've watched dominate a game as much as Liza. There are people who didn't know a blessed thing about field hockey and were amazed at what they saw. Thank you so much for the show, because that's what it was. We watched the district semifinal over Grafton, and there were times where they put 10 girls on her. The only way they could stop her was to whack her stick so they'd have to take it out of bounds again. I think Nancy was sitting near me. I think we counted 7 corners in a row in that game. To tell us a little bit more about Liza, here's Coach Sarah Belovitz. Sarah?
Good evening, everybody. I'm also honored to be here to be part of Liza's induction into the Sutton Hall of Fame. Congrats to all of you. Looking around, I have clearly not been here as long as some of the rest of you, which is a little intimidating, but that's okay. I'm getting there. Coming into my first year taking over the varsity program, I was 25 with only a couple years of head coaching experience. I came from a program in a city where field hockey was just something to do. After my first few days of practices, I quickly learned that that was not the mentality here at Sutton. I had a really strong senior class that was well-rounded, brought a lot of spark, and adapted very quickly to the new team dynamic. Within that group was Liza. She was every coach's dream. She played the sport year-round, was willing to go above and beyond to make herself better, and took in every ounce of constructive criticism if it meant she was going to win. Being a senior and already committed to Lafayette, it would have been easy for her to be selfish and not think about the outcome of the season because she knew where she was going to end up. Many thought of Liza as a goal scorer, the one to keep the ball away from. Those that didn't know her or the sport would say she was a ball hawk. While she ended her senior year with 37 goals, she also had 18 assists. Seems pretty unselfish to me. While I look back on that season, there are so many memorable moments throughout the district semifinal run. Beating Nipmuc for the first time in a long time, winning at Burncoat off a corner play with 30 seconds left, a shot from Liza. But my favorite hit was during the quarterfinal game against Grafton. It was a home game, we were in the second half, winning 1-0, and out of nowhere, Liza frantically runs over to me and says, "Coach, my shoe is broken." And I'm like, "What?" And she says, "Yeah, it's broken. The sole of my shoe is completely torn off, just about." So I looked frantically, myself, at the girls standing behind me on the sidelines, and I said, "Well, you guys heard her. Somebody take off your shoes." And they all, nicely obliged. And I took her out, she put the shoes back on, and she went back in. And no sooner than 10 seconds later, I hear the same girl that graciously gave Liza her shoes say, "I might put my shoes on eBay after this." I managed to chuckle despite the sick feeling in my stomach that many coaches in the room I'm sure can relate to come district play. For those of you that are wondering, we won that game, and Liza kindly returned the shoes to the rightful owner. The 2014 season is something that will always be near and dear to my heart, and I believe that was the start of something very special. I have always said that I wish I had one more season with that group. What could have been? Although I haven't been doing this as long as some of the other coaches in this room tonight, I've had my fair share of talented players, but none with the natural talent that Liza has. Her grit, tenacity, and pure love for the game of field hockey have been qualities that I continue to instill in the players that followed her. As Liza moved on to Lafayette, I continued to follow her field hockey career by checking scores, even taking trips to Holy Cross with my team when they would play Lafayette so younger girls could watch her. We didn't spend a lot of time together, but I always felt a sense of pride knowing who she is, where she came from, and how hard she worked to get there. Now in my 8th year at Sutton, I look back at how far the program has come, and I feel a great deal of that started with Liza. About a year or so ago, I had the pleasure of receiving an email from Liza's mother to share the field hockey ongoing she had been involved in. And in true Liza fashion, she had been playing field hockey in Ireland. At first I was surprised, but then I said to myself, why wouldn't she be playing field hockey in Ireland? It's Liza. I was happy knowing she was still pursuing what she loved. Being an athlete, once upon a time with a strong passion for sports, I've learned that once the playing is over, the best thing I can do is share that passion with others. Trying to instill the love of the game into others as the coaches I had once did for me. During preseason this year, my players said that one of the officials of their summer games who also coached, played for Sutton. The more they told me, I was able to put the pieces together and identify who this individual was. I said, oh, that's Liza Welch. They said, Coach, she's nice, but man, is she competitive. And I thought to myself, she absolutely is. Liza had what many athletes these days long for. As coaches, we all know that we cannot teach kids how to have heart. Some athletes have it, while others go their whole athletic career never finding it. Liza was an amazing field hockey player with a lot of skills, but she had heart. Her long list of accomplishments speaks to the type of player and person that she was. I could not be more proud to congratulate and welcome Liza Welch into the class of 2021 Sutton High School Hall of Fame.
People over here, when we're done, don't move. We're going to give people an opportunity for a group photo, so you don't want to leave. If you leave, I will lose your plaque. It goes on the wall. It usually takes 10 years to find it. I know, mine was missing for a while. Previously, I mentioned that there was a group that was determined to improve themselves. A very academic, athletic-minded group of young ladies and young men. They were all pretty much around the same age, except for one. During a conversation with the group, I don't know what it was about, I happened to turn my head and saw the young one sitting by herself at the end of the bench, taking it all in. So this is what I'm going to talk about when I get older. That vision of that young lady sitting there will be with me for the rest of my life. And that vision will remind me of what she has accomplished and what she has become. Bill Gillen will expound on this. Bill?
As Howie has noted, it was a real pleasure to coach and to work with Olivia. From here on, it'll either be Liv or Livy for short. I had the opportunity to coach with Liv as a team member for 7 track and field seasons, 4 outdoor campaigns and 3 indoors. To remark that she was a force on the team is almost underrepresenting her contributions, even from the beginning as a freshman, which was outdoors. As a frosh, she was a DVC All-Star, a district medalist, an MIAA Central West medalist, and a state finalist. However, For me, and Howie and I talked about this quite a bit recently, her individual and team accomplishments over that time were only part of the story. She was just a real joy and pleasure to work with from a coaching standpoint. I'll just list some, things here and I could go on and on. Friendly, affable, helpful, cooperative, a teammate, talented, work ethic, and again, I could keep going. On my desk, and it's just down the hall here, there's a picture of Libby and myself taken her senior year on her collegiate signing day. I have a number of pictures in there from any of the students or parents or whatever who have come in here, and been down in my office. And as I noted to Howie several weeks ago, the relationships formed for us coaches with the student athlete is really why we coach. Wins are nice, we obviously have to deal with losses, and that's why when I see some of the alumni and even the people I didn't have the privilege of coaching and working with, it's just, it's part of what I do as my profession, my day job, so to speak, but it really is the heart of, sorry, choking up here a little bit. Now to Liv's highlights, which are in multiple sports again. Volleyball. I don't know much about volleyball, but I'll do my best here. 2013 and 14 captain, DVC All-Star and T&G All-Star. Basketball, 2012. Indoor track and field, 2013, 2014, and 2015. DVC All-Star all 3 seasons. DVC high jump record holder. 2013 Field Athlete of the Year. 2014 and 15 District Champ High Jump. 2014 finalist at the MIAA New England and National competition. She and another athlete were the first track and field in my tenure here to go to nationals down in New York City. 2015 captain, small school state champion high jump, as well as the 4x400 meter relay team. Outdoor track and field, 2012, 13, 14, and 15. Captain, DVC All-Star all 4 years. DVC Field Athlete and T&G All-Star. 2015 DVC Field Athlete. 2014 and 15 District Champ, High Jump, and the 4x400 relay team. 2015 second place, High Jump, New England Championship. Upon graduation, Libby set 3 individual school records, the indoor pentathlon, 5 events, high jump, and the 400 meters outdoors, as well as a member of both indoor and outdoor 4x400 meter relay teams. All 5 still remain standing today. It's my pleasure to present Libby Reinhold and her plaque to the right induction to Sutton Athletic Club.
Just to back up something, if you were listening too close, in the beginning I used the word only. Libby is the only Sutton athlete to be a T&G All-Star in 3 seasons. No one else has ever accomplished that. When you go back and look at all the great athletes that we've had, it's quite an achievement. Fall, winter, spring. Okay, that concludes. I'm going to place the plaques that will appear on the wall. Wait, here comes the 18th. And we're going to put them on the tables here so you can take a look at it. It resembles the take-home that they have, except for the flowers. I grew those flowers myself, right, Ed? Yes. Yeah. And they're going to stay here, and if you want to take the group picture, they're going to be here until pictures are done. and then you can, the snacks aren't what we usually have because of the COVID. We thought that instead of having cookies all over the place, we have packaged cookies. So you can grab a package of cookies. The ladies are going to put some water out there for you. Stick around, converse, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Okay, you people are sticking here.